Welcome to Flat Earthers. In this video, we'll show you 5 reasons why our home planet is not round but flat. And then we'll convince someone that doesn't believe that the Earth is flat. Number 1. Australia isn't real. Just kidding. Here's the real number 1. As we all know, the spherical model of the Earth indicates that it has an axis and that our planet rotates around it, generating what we know as the movement of rotation. We all know that this movement is totally false, and I will explain why with an example. Let's say you take a plane trip from Santiago de Chile to Madrid. When going to Madrid, the Earth rotates in the same direction as your trip. Therefore, this should last longer than the return trip, in which you travel in the opposite direction of the Earth's rotation. The Earth goes towards you. However, this doesn't happen. The trip from Santiago to Madrid lasts 12 hours and 40 minutes, while the return trip lasts 13 hours and 35 minutes. Isn't this a contradiction? Isn't the outward journey supposed to take longer than the return? Just another piece of evidence indicating the flatness of our planet, that the government is plotting against us, and that NASA is hiding information from us.
Number 2. The position of the stars. When the rotation of the Earth is explaining to you, it is always said that our planets revolve at the great speed around the sun, approximately 107,218 kilometers per hour. Then, we are also told that the solar system also revolves around the center of the galaxy at enormous speed, approximately 828,000 kilometers per hour. Bearing this in mind, knowing that we move through space at great speed, the constellations that we see over the years should change. We are moving through space. We should see different things, and yet we always see the same constellations, always the same stars. This, in the flat Earth model, is supported by taking into account that is a has fixed celestial bolt, which move along the plane where the stars and constellations would not change position.
Number 3. The false theory of gravity. Many might wonder, if the Earth is flat, how does gravity occur? We are taught that it comes from spherical objects. So how does this happen on the flat Earth? The answer is simple. Gravity does not exist. We can start by stating that there is no experimental evidence that gravity exists. No one has ever seen two extremely massive bodies attract each other. So what happened? Two things happen. The first is that we cannot fly or move through the air because we are denser than it, just as steel ball sinks in water because it is denser than this liquid. The second thing is that our flat planet is constantly accelerating upwards, generating a force similar to that generated by cars when they accelerate, hitting us towards the ground. Taking this into account, there is no need to create a magical mechanism like gravity.
Number 4. In our schools, children have been taught what the stars are like. Mega hot plasma balls, whose colors depends on their temperature and which live for millions of years. According to them, our sun is a star, although it is obviously a focus that is on the terrestrial plane. That this is why we will determine our stars are those points that we see in the celestial vault. Seeing in a telescope, we shall see these balls of plasma, and yet All we can see are these sizzling spheres that don't have a very definitive shape. One more proof that we don't have to let ourselves be fooled and open our minds to the true shape of the Earth, the flat one.
Number 5. We know the two poles of our planet. At the North Pole, there's a drift of snow floating in the ocean, which we know as the Arctic, while at the South Pole, there's another piece of snow floating in the ocean, which we know as Antarctica. They have always explained to us that the seasons of the year occur due to the tilt of the Earth axis, making the North Pole have summer in one season, since it is tilted towards the sun, while the South Pole is tilted away from the star, generating winter. This changes throughout the year, which supposedly gives rise to the seasons. Now, there is something important to note here, and that is that if this were true, the average annual temperature of the two poles should be similar, and yet there's a big difference. This can only mean that the Earth is not a sphere and that the seasons are a product of the distance from the South Pole to the central sun that is on flat Earth, meaning that the NASA is lying about the shape of our planet.
Now that we have shown you 5 reasons why the Earth is flat, we'll convince Alex Tintor, a non believer, that our planet is indeed flat.
Hello, Alex Tintor. How are you?
Hi, who are you? How do you know my name?
That's not relevant. Would you like to listen to some reasons why the Earth is flat?
Now, would you like to hear about the flat earth theory?
Yeah, of course, I would love to hear all about it.
Perfect! Well, the flat earth theory is based in the fact that a society, the government alongside NASA, have been lying for a long time, making us believe things like the pyramids were made by humans or parent put the Christmas present on the rose of all. The earth is enlightened via knowledge. We notice this situation and anyway, as I was saying, it will explain the circle of the day. Place yourself on the Cartesian plane. If the center is zero, then that's where the point of balance is. So on the and plus, so in these two environments, there's a discontinuity in the biospheres, which in turn explain the different climatology, the different ecosystems, etc. In the case of day and night, the same things happen as with the biosphere, depending on the position in the plane in which you are. If you go more to the right, there is more light, and if you go more to the left. But let's remember that the moon and the sun change position from time to time. That is, they have a simple harmonic motion. And at the moment of change of position, invert the plane, and the time needed to invert that plane is approximately 8,400 seconds, which is how long a day lasts.
But if they have harmonic motion, how do you explain the eclipses?
Are you going to answer? Shut up, damn heretic! You don't know anything!
But I didn't say anything.
It doesn't matter!
Fine.
Well, now let me explain the structure of the real Earth, since you, sir, were blinded by the government and its conspiracies. In case you didn't know, the Earth is a huge disk where the center of the planet is placed at the North Pole. In addition to that, we are surrounded by a wall of ice more than 45 meters high, and the outer limit.
Say round Earth again! I dare you! I double dare you, you scum! Say the Earth is flat!
What?
Is that the Super Captain magazine? I love Super Captain.
I completely understand you. This magazine can be only understood by people with an IQ above the average. And like, bro, I have an IQ above the average. That's why I started reading it. Also, Super Captain agrees that
I can't believe it. I'm becoming a flat earther.
Yes, you're finally becoming one of us. Come, my son, and I'll show you the secrets of this flattened world.
Perfect. Just as I was escaping.
What? It can't be. The Olympic is escaping. Get him!
Oh no, they found me. I gotta hurry.
You can't hurry. You'll be back here anyway.
I don't think so.
Execute Order 69.
What was that? Doesn't matter. I think can I get out of here? What why can't I get out of here?
I will know your greatest fear.